All right, my English teacher friends. So I have another video for you today that's a part of my Nuance Academy. And I think you're getting the gist of what I'm doing here. So one of my chief aims when I create a lesson plan or a unit, some instructional practices, engagement is key. So I know that post-COVID, students are imploring us to engage them at a higher level, and so I'm willing to, pull a lot of rabbits out of my hat to engage them. And this was actually my daughter's idea. So she's going to be a senior in high school and is enrolled in AP Literature. And she's toying with the idea of becoming an English teacher herself. And she's very aware of what I do with regards to my YouTube channel, my consulting, and etc. And she said, "Hey, Dad, things were so much cooler in the 80s and the 90s. You guys had paper fortune teller. That was a lot of fun. You could use that to teach punctuation and grammar and syntax and the parts of speech." So I give kudos and credit to my daughter for coming up with this idea. So some of you are from my generation and will fondly remember paper fortune teller. So you would ask it questions like, will I go to the prom with Katrina, Pam, or Susie, or Samantha, right? And you you ask the question, you divine the oracle, and get your answer. So I've done a couple of other videos with regards to the 5 sentences of the day, my punctuation practice, and this is just one more activity within that arsenal of my Nuance Academy and the 5 sentences of the day to really shore up and hammer home grammar, in particular punctuation and syntax. So I'll quickly run through this one for you. So I actually have students build their own fortune tellers. They're often called cootie catchers, is what we called them back in my hometown. So you can go on YouTube and look up do-it-yourself paper fortune tellers or do-it-yourself cootie catchers, and it honestly takes like 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes to do it. Students just need to follow directions, and all they need is a sheet of paper. So it could be any sheet of paper. And then my daughter's suggestion for punctuation was to keep it to comma, semicolon, colon, and hyphen. So in my mentor sentences, the periods are there. You can omit the period if your students are having trouble identifying things at sentence level. So, as I said earlier, you can use this for grammar, punctuation, syntax, parts of speech. I'm actually thinking about using it to identify the 12 various sentence constructs from Strunk and White, and then we just color coded our fortune tellers with crayon and put circles and X's and stuff. Purple, green, blue, red. You can do it any old way you want. So the big thing with this is, as always, as we're doing punctuation, I tell my students that they have to exercise the pause and breathe the sentence. So take a look at the 5 sentences of the day, and ultimately what we'll do here with my students is we'll look at just 5 sentences a day, because I don't want this to consume the whole class period. And again, for disclosure purposes, I work on a block schedule, so we have about 83 minutes per block. And so the 5 sentences of the day, and I have these mentor sentences that are absent of punctuation. So in terms of exercising the pause and breathing the sentence, listen to the first one. Given the choice, I'd rather eat Mike and Ike's during a movie rather than a box of greasy popcorn. I hate getting my fingers all oily. So, the students will do their little song and dance with the fortune teller, and let's say that they come up with comma, all right? And in any of the 5 sentences, they have to locate where a comma belongs. And you just whip through this as quickly as possible. So in terms of exercise in the pause, I read this and say, given the choice, and I pause there, right? Given the choice, I'd rather eat Mike and Ike. So hopefully the student's going to say comma. Now you have another pause after, I'd rather eat a box during a movie rather than a box of greasy popcorn. So there, after popcorn, what are you going to do? All right, period. And then hopefully students can see that there's other things amiss in this. And, the then should be than. So have them pick up all that stuff. So even though they're landing on, a comma in their fortune teller, have to pick up on the other things as well. And skip to the last one. When she went to the store, she got the following things: pickles, pretzels, and onion dip. So the kid that lands on the colon, right? This is going to be his or her sentence. When she went to the store, she got the following things: colon, pickles, comma, pretzels, comma, if you're using Oxford commas, and onion dip, right? So a Ouija board has one purpose: to predict your future. So they can go bananas with this and fix up these sentences and just have a variety of sentences that have comma, semicolon, colon, hyphen, and then some that have elongated sentences where you have to use a period as well, so that you teach them not to make comma splices, because in that first sentence in particular, you know that a lot of students are going to use a comma there and have a comma splice. So what I do is I have 50 mentor sentences. And at the end of the 50th sentence, I think that's plenty of practice for students to pick up what I'm dropping. So I do an assessment, and ultimately I give them 50 sentences that look like this, and they have to punctuate it correctly. I do throw in some grammatical stuff: the theirs, the theirs, the theirs, the yours, things of that nature, and have them work through it. And then, if they need more practice, then we'll retest and retest and retest until there's relative mastery. That's how I differentiate the instruction. So, as many of you know, I'm running summer short course series, and on Tuesday, July 12th, I'm doing the Nuance Academy. So if you want to learn the whole kit and caboodle and arsenal as far as how I teach grammar, punctuation, syntax, but even like trickier than that, because I think most teachers can do that fairly well, is the voice, the rhythm, and the flow. We're going to be tackling that in a 90-minute session, July 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's been a lot of requests for me to offer that a couple other times during the summer months, and I think I certainly will. So pay attention to my webpage, teaching writing coach at teachinghowtowrite.com, and I'll update that. And then also during the summer short course series, we're going to be doing AP strategies for success. I'm going to demonstrate how all 6 FRQs, so Lang and Lit, can be constructed using my templates. So one template uniformly across the expository modes can be used to write all 6 of those FRQs. So there's going to be a Lang section and a Lit section. And then back by popular demand, folks are really asking me to run my 2-hour alternative grading method intensive. So that's going to be offered in the summer short course series. And then for the first time ever, I'm going to do a session on Plato's Plato discussion. So those that are looking to jumpstart their Socratic seminars, fishbowls, and Harkness discussions, and look at gamification as a modality for discussion, I'm going to do that one last. And then last but not least, I'm going to be sending out an email shortly to my folks and post this in the groups. The Teach It Right 5-week mastermind. Tons of folks are asking me about that. I got good news. We're going to run it through the National Writing Project going forward. So we're shooting for an August 9th start date, and I'll let the Facebook groups and my Facebook group, Teachers Making Better Writers, know about that in the coming days once we have all of our ducks in a row. And last but not least, I think many of you know that Tim Freitas and Brandon Abden and I will be presenting at NCTE conference this coming fall in Anaheim, California. So many irons in the fire. All right, hope all is well. Happy teaching, happy writing.